Elder Redland, he visited my mission. But one of the things I always remember him saying was, he asked us, like, hey, have you guys received the confirmation that this is the mission that you're supposed to be in yet? And we're all like, no.
Whoa.
And he's like, he said, every single one of you elders and sisters are entitled to receive a confirmation that this is where you're supposed to be right now.
All right, welcome back to Mission Stories. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Dodge. Welcome, bro.
Hey.
And I can say welcome back because the first time we tried to record this, anyway, bunch of stuff. We had to re-record it, and luckily he's nice enough to come and do it again. So Dodge, just to kind of give a little bit of a background, and obviously I'll tell you, or I'll have you share some insights about yourself. But Dodge is someone that I've always looked up to, not only in just the way that he carries himself and lives his life. He's just a super cool kid, but he's always prioritized God and tried to, love and serve others in a way that I think Christ would do it. If he was, in Dodge's shoes, he does that really well. And so I'm hoping to learn a lot from you today and hear about your mission.
Well, thanks, Noah. That's like a huge, massive compliment. I don't feel worthy of it.
Yeah.
I'm as imperfect as anybody, that's for sure. But one thing about me is I do love talking about the mish.
Yeah.
I can't shut up about it.
Yes, bro.
Dude, one of those just forever just living in the past. I'm like the Uncle Rico of Philippines.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, dude, we're not even talking about missions.
I love it.
And I'm throwing.
It's like,
oh yeah, dude. Well, I had this food and it was sick.
Yeah, it's like Friday Night Lights, high school, living the glory days of state championships. The old grandpa who just rants on of how good he was. Well, and especially when you served in a place like the Philippines. Like the Philippines is the coolest place ever.
Yeah,
as you're aware.
Dude, love the Philippines. It's seriously one of the most special places on earth to me. I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
Before I went there, but now just could talk about so many different parts of why the Philippines is perfect for me and so prime for missionary work. And so, yeah, stoked to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Let's talk about before. What was your experience like making the decision to go on a mission and the process you went through to receive your call and get out on your mission? Give me some background.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like I never really made a decision to go on a mission. I feel like I just had already made it. Before I even was old enough to make the decision, I always just knew, that's what I do.
That's what you do, yeah.
School's over, mission starts.
Yeah.
And just from the time I was a little kid, I just knew that. There was never a time in my life where I had thought that the mission wasn't for me. And even in times when I wasn't as close to the church as I should have been. And I just mean spiritually, not studying and everything like I should have in high school. No part of me ever thought that I wasn't going to make it out.
Right.
And so with that being said, I feel like when the clock started getting close, senior year, I really had to dial in and make some decisions for myself.
Yeah.
And so I submitted my papers on my mission. And at that time, just to give a little preview of what was going on, a lot of my friends were kind of also in the phase of thinking about missions or going on them.
Yeah.
And there were some kids in my school that had started Book of Mormon study sessions.
Wow.
In high school.
Yeah.
And so it was
independent of any seminary or mission prep initiatives.
Yes. And that's that's what was huge is that it was probably the first event that I went to where it was I'm not doing this for a graduation.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this for because I have to go to church. I go out on Tuesday night or whatever it was at 8:30 o'clock and go meet at somebody's house because I want to be there.
Yeah.
And that's how it collectively was. Some nights there was 10 of us. Some nights there'd be 25, 30. high school kids, like
Dang,
18
dude.
years old, that would all go over to one of our friends' house in high school. And his dad, I think, was a bishop at the time.
Yeah.
And he would lead it, but wasn't like a lesson or anything. It was just popcorn reading. Like just popcorn read the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool because there was kids that I didn't know as well at school, and I would see them at the Book of Mormon reading nights. And then I'd see them at school and be like, "Hey, like this is a kid from the Book of Mormon reading nights. Like how cool. We're both preparing for this thing together." And so I think that made a huge difference, even though like at the time I didn't realize how big of a deal it was.
Yeah.
But really cool, like lucky to grow up in a place where, there was that many kids getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And so
How did that get started? Like who kind of got that going?
it's funny. It was I think his name was Isaac, and he just kind of lived right by our school. I don't even know how the original group formed.
Yeah.
But I just heard through the grapevine that some of my friends were going, and like they invited me, and then naturally, like it was just an open invite,
Yeah.
and so just kind of tumbled into like random different groups that typically don't hang out at the school, just all funneling together on
That's so cool.
these late nights, and it would be different every single week. But it was awesome, and I'd say it made a big difference in my decision to go.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of my friends' decisions to go also.
Yeah.
And so at that time, then I decided to put in my papers, got my call back, and kind of fun, went and drove my bus.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen bus.
Yep.
That's like, that's Dodge's trademark.
That is me. It's part of me. Roxanne, me and Roxanne, we read it together. We rode up to the
Ride or die.
Yep, we rode up, and I read it alone. And I just remember like that was one of the first times like, man, I really, really felt the Spirit. I was like overcome with emotion, being somebody who really doesn't feel a ton of emotion otherwise.
Yeah.
And like so much excitement, and then just so much, like so many questions. I was just freaked out.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know how to pronounce this.
Yeah.
Like, I served in the Bacolod Philippines mission.
Okay.
And I was speaking Hiligaynon. And I remember I put on my call, like I think it was like a chart, like, okay, out of one on a scale of 1 to 5, like how bad do you want to learn a language? And I was like 1, and I was like Spanish is what I put in the notes, like hopefully Spanish if I do. And then I got that and I was like, oh man, like that's going to be really hard. Like I really struggled with memorization, and I really struggled with even just the language I learned at school.
Yeah.
And I took Spanish for like 7 years. And I'm like, I don't stand a chance. So I was freaked out about that for sure. So
like initially, or the more like you kind of learned about the Philippines and the language, like did it?
I don't know if it was any more comforting the more I learned, because I'm like, okay, everyone's now just saying that it is hard, and it is like not that useful. And like there's not really any study help. I can't even study before I go. I'm like, I just have to learn while I'm out there, and in the MTC is pretty much all I can do. But that kind of reminds me of my mission prep experience. Was awesome. And I didn't realize how awesome it was until later on. Like while I was on my mission, I'm like, man, I was really blessed to have some awesome mission prep that had happened. My bishop at the time, his name was Lenny Gray, and anybody who's in the door-to-door like sales world, they'll recognize the name Lenny Gray. He wrote a book called like Door-to-Door Millionaire that was just, it's pretty huge in like the whole Utah like sales world. Pretty much. So he was the one that was leading my mission prep, and so he just had a totally unique spin on it, where his whole thing was, hey, your whole goal as a missionary is to make sure people know that you're a human and you're not a robot. And it was 6 months. I mean, it was probably a 6-month teaching of like, okay, here's how you're going to approach people. Here's how you're going to act when you're in the street. Here's how the lessons are going to go.
Wow.
And just totally like, before I even went on a mission and realized like that it can get pretty robotic, kind of broke that out of me, and, taught me all about how to, actually connect with people.
Right.
because it's, it's the same thing in any sales as it is in the gospel. Like,
Yeah.
it's really easy to shut down people that are robotic.
Yeah.
Hey, we're missionaries of the church. Like, okay, that's easy to shut the door on, but it's
Yeah.
really hard to shut the door on like cool guy Noah Heaton who just wants to hang out
Yeah.
and like actually lives that
No,
gospel.
that's such a good point. That's so funny that you bring that up, because last night I got to FaceTime one of my best friends who's on his mission right now. He left later in like he's actually, I think he's 27, almost 20. Like he barely made the cut. He comes back next year, and I got to chat with him, and we got on that topic of how we both, it sounds like he kind of used this tactic as something that I tried to implement in my missionary work. And it sounds like something that you focused on is the idea of kind of breaking from the mold. And I want to speak to that lightly, because it doesn't mean that you just go rogue and, you're super casual about it. There's still a mantle and a certain level of, reverence and whatnot to, maintain, I'm a representative of Jesus Christ. I'm a set apart missionary, full-time missionary. And, you need to keep that in mind, but it's so true. I think if you're able to almost catch people off guard, because they see the white shirt and tie, they see you rolling up on your bike, or they're expecting that robotic, super cookie cutter approach. But if you almost throw them off guard and like, somehow get in with them, break the ice. Like for me, like talking with Spanish speakers, like they love their native country, or, some sort of food that they loved, or soccer, whatever it might be. That's such a easy and normal, natural way, as Elder Uchtdorf talks about, normal, natural way to kind of establish that relationship. And then the conversation about Christ and his restored church comes in naturally. It's not so abrupt, and in most situations, like it's a lot harder to turn down when you come off as a more genuine person.
For sure. No, that's so true. I think like nowhere in the church handbook or missionary handbooks or anything does it say that you're supposed to like do away with your personality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're taking on the name of Jesus Christ, but like the Preach My Gospel, like Jeffrey R. Holland talk that he gave, it's Feed My Sheep. That's the one called Feed My Sheep. So good.
Legendary.
But the whole thing is you can almost feel Elder Holland's frustration with like, guys, come on. Like we need to like teach powerfully and, teach using the Spirit.
Yeah.
And use all the instruments and tools that you got.
Yeah.
To connect with people.
Right.
And, like as soon as you start to just slip into the monotone, like robotic way, you start to lose some of the power that you could have connecting with people, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There's I guess it's now President Christofferson, but then Elder Christofferson visited my mission, and he talked about the idea. He said, pay the price of preparation, meaning, when you and your companion sit down for companion study, you're planning out the lessons for the day or things that setting goals or whatever it is, like do all that you can to prepare for that. Study, preach my gospel, study the Book of Mormon, study the Bible, the scriptures that you're going to use in certain lessons. Do all that you can to prepare, but then just go. And I think that's kind of the approach. Like, we're not saying just go and be your normal high school self and just go out and make friends and just hang out and have a good time. There's still, you have a missionary purpose to invite others to come unto Christ. And so, spend time in the scriptures and in these awesome resources, but then go be yourself with that in mind. And I feel like it's just so much more natural. And if you're able to share experiences as you share the plan of salvation or all of these awesome lessons, if you're able to connect with them, it's just, like you said, it's just so much easier for them to receive you in a more effective way,
No, totally. I feel like that helps a ton. We always pray like, God, can you please help me like use me as an instrument in thy hands.
Yeah.
Like, use me as like a tool to help bring others to Christ. And uh, like if you really are living the gospel and trying to follow the Spirit, I think anybody who's ever gone on a mission will like teach somebody and be like, oh man, this is probably why I'm out here.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you'll have kind of that revelation on the mission, like this is why I was called to this mission,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because you just see like, oh, I see my gifts of being fun and friendly
Yeah.
and a 5 minute best friend to a lot of people, and how that just converted so well into this particular mission in this particular area
Yeah.
and this family's house that I'm in at this time.
Yeah. That's so well said. And one thing I want to cover before we kind of jump into your actual experience in the Philippines is a little bit about like who you were before the mission. We joke about it all the time. Like first time I saw Dodge in my life, where we went to the same middle school. He was a grade above me. I see him with his fanny pack that's got, the speakers with it.
Jammy pack.
The jammy pack, excuse me. Sorry, we'll get that plug right. With your mullet and like just some crazy animal shirt, and just like icon, bro. Like I walked into that school, I'm like, hey, that kid knows what's up.
Sick.
And you did.
Wow, yeah, dude. Indian Hills 8th grade, dude. Didn't know what was coming, man.
Yeah, bro. a true I guess what is the mascot there?
Warriors,
a true warrior. No, but it was cool because, and we've talked about how we almost played a similar character in our respective high schools, where we didn't necessarily do a lot of the like traditional sports or activities. Like we both like to skate and do these things that are pretty stereotypical, like, oh, like the druggy kids go and do that, or the kids who, I don't know. And we were drawn to those kinds of things, and we had a lot of friends that lived all sorts of lifestyles. And I guess I bring all this up because what was your kind of approach with that, and how did you continue to build your faith in Christ and prioritize God, even though you may have been in settings where it might have been hard to do that?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, like within the gospel, our plan of salvation is just amazing. It is so cool. Like if you understand where we came from and where we're going, you really understand how short our time here on earth is.
Yeah.
But one of the big things with that is, you really understand the potential that all of God's children has on earth.
Yeah.
And so when you really zoom out and you look at the big picture, like if you really believe that the Book of Mormon is true, the gospel is true, then that means you believe that all the people that you meet here on earth have the ability to grow and become like God.
Yeah.
And have this insane potential that we don't even understand how glorious it is, and have an individualized plan for them. And so when you start to look at people, strangers on the street like that, it gives you a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
It takes away like a lot of the lenses of judgment that we put in front of people. And so I feel like I've always been blessed to just kind of like feel like I don't have that lens of judgment. And it sounds selfish. It sounds like a weird thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to meeting people at the skate park, or friends that I have, whether they're in the church or despise it entirely, hate everything about it.
Yeah.
Like it really does not make a difference. Like genuinely does not make a difference as to like how much I love them.
Yeah.
And how much I care for them in their life and want the best for them. Even nowadays, like with how much politics and everything just gets so intervened.
Yeah.
We start to think that if people think differently than us, and like we have to hate them.
Yeah.
And you go back to reading the New Testament and just watching Christ in his daily life, and you're like, that's not how he lived.
Not at all.
Like, that's not who we hung out and broke bread with.
Yeah.
It's our job to love those people, and that translates really, really well on a mission too. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it on the way here, like that impression that people feel when Noah hangs out with them.
Yeah.
Like we say at the skate park, just because that's a stereotypical, like, oh, that's not where like the missionaries are hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that impression that people feel one day, like, will come back to them.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 years, 20 years down the road, they'll be like, hey, I knew this Mormon kid once.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't try to really preach anything to me, but
Yeah. He was just hanging out like the rest of us.
yeah, but he was really cool. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have any intention of trying to like baptize some
Yeah.
random kid, right?
No, exactly.
So I don't know. I think that helped a lot in
Yeah.
high school.
No, that's such a good perspective to have, and I think it's hard to do. And when it comes to loving others as you are trying to live a gospel-centered life, you want to make sure that you approach those conversations and those interactions and relationships in a way that doesn't sound like, holier than thou.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like I'm living the gospel and like I'm going to church, that doesn't mean that like I think any less of you because you're doing other things. And I think we need to go into those relationships and realize like there's just as much stuff that we can learn from them that they can learn from us. We think that sometimes, they just need to change this about the way that they're living. And that's not it at all. Like, I think if people were a little more patient and merciful, like you said, it's exactly how Christ operated. He wanted people to, turn to him and be better. But at the end of the day, when we're representing Christ, like the best thing we can do is just be a friend. And you've done that so well and have always shown that towards me. And, I know your friends would say the same thing. What, as we kind of transition into your mission now, when did that become a skill that helped you as you were teaching someone on your mission? Maybe someone you'd found or a member, a companion. When did that kind of help you as a missionary?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like almost my whole mission was kind of based around this whole concept. Like almost all the people that I met on the street and everything, it was so huge. And I think it kind of goes back to the principle of, God loves gardens. And, I always heard this, like, oh, God loves the concept of gardens. He's always talking about gardens, planting seeds, sowing. He's talking about trees of life. He's talking about faith and comparing it to a seed. And so I feel like it's a really similar concept where when you get on your mission, you start to get all this, some missionaries, you start to get in a fixed mindset of like, okay, I need baptisms and I need people at church, which is huge and which I do, want to talk about too. But it goes way back to what we were just talking about with the plan of salvation. Like, okay, and a lot of times God is playing the long game.
Yeah.
In 6 weeks, we're probably not going to baptize and convert every single person in this area. There's just too many people. People a lot of times aren't in the mindset yet. Honestly, I'd say most people in the areas that you go to are probably pretty hard-hearted.
Yeah.
And so the goals are a little different with every person that you talk to. But I'd say for a majority of the people, you're just trying to break their perception of what the church is to them.
Yeah.
And so, like, I wanted to make sure that every single person in my area, if they were like the guy driving the motorcycle for 5 minutes, they were the person that would sell us eggs and rice on the corner, or, the people that we'd brush into while walking around. I wanted to make sure they knew that we are fun, like we are normal, we are awesome.
Yeah.
We're cool to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And that we're really approachable.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a lot longer than it looks, and that you're putting in a lot of effort that you're probably not going to see the fruits for.
Yeah.
like that's when you know, like I'm committed to the gospel. I'm committed. I'm not, it's the character of Christ. Like I'm not doing the selfish thing where I'm only working on people that like are going to progress while I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm doing like the Christ-like thing of I'm going to work on everybody around me.
Yeah.
And, you know, who knows, in 10 years down the road, kind of like the feed my sheep talk, there might be somebody that has that, oh man, why am I here? Where am I going? Moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be able to remember, hey, Elder Anderson, or that tall American kid that one time was friendly to me, and I can talk to them.
Yeah.
And then when it's ready, like the missionaries in that area in that time will be there ready to answer that. And it's like, who knows, that could be happening in our missions right now. And we just have no idea.
Absolutely.
From seeds that we had planted.
Right. Those first impressions that were positive, and, you know, and then they almost look forward to having another interaction. If you leave them, if you say goodbye and they leave thinking, man, like they were actually way cool. Like I wouldn't mind, like, you know, hanging out or talking to these guys more.
Yeah.
Tell me about like a specific story. I want to get a couple like highlights from your mission. If you had, you know, one or two stories where it's like, that was the time, like when I am sitting down with all my great grandkids at the end of my life and they ask me about my mission, like this is the story I'm telling.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about that.
I mean, I feel like I have a few, kind of like what we had talked about before. Like there was a lot of changes that happened in my mission when I first got there. We had a new mission president come in the same time I got there. And the old mission president was an awesome dude. He came in and he led an awesome charge for people to get baptisms done, like by any means, getting people baptized. And that's what the mission really needed at the time. But then by the time he was on his way out, I think missionaries had become almost hyper-focused on that.
Yeah.
On just the numbers. And so our new mission president came in and he laid down a new law that I felt like was really inspired.
Yeah.
Where he said, you know, we need true converts. We need priesthood. Like that's what the Philippines is lacking.
Yeah.
Not baptisms. We're lacking priesthood holders. And like we're still going to get baptisms, but we need to reshift our focus to like quality, like very quality. Retention, families.
Yeah.
And so he came out with some controversial rules that caused some stir.
Yeah.
Where he's like, okay, no one under the age, I think it was either 16 or 18, but he's like, no more baptizing people under the age of 16 or 18. Wow. He's like, you tell their parents and you tell the board and they're going to handle it.
Wow.
But he's like, for right now in our mission, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Like we need fathers baptized and mothers.
Yeah.
And the kids will follow.
Yeah.
And like that was something that at the time, 2020 or 2018, Dang. Like wasn't
what
being
was
followed.
Your reaction to that? Obviously you were new in the mission, so you were kind of like, like starting with it, but
I was new. I mean, I think
pretty crazy?
You kind of follow your older missionaries a lot.
Yeah.
Who were all like, what is he doing, man?
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing, like weekly baptisms.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of mission that we were in. There was kids that would go 2 years and baptize every single week.
Right.
Of their mission, like 100 baptisms in a row.
It's insane, dude.
Just crazy.
That is so wild.
So it just came to a halt.
Yeah.
For months.
Yeah.
And like they just got shut down because like a lot of people in the pipeline were younger.
Yeah.
And they were spacing apart families to baptize weeks in a row. Just things that like aren't good. And I think the audience that listens to this are probably praying for the mission. Like, what? Missionaries would do something that selfish?
Yeah.
And like you realize there's some people that serve missions that, you know, don't have the best intentions all the time. That aren't like these picture perfect people. Right. And we're still young and make mistakes.
Yeah.
But
and you just sometimes it's easy to, like you said, get so rigid and get so focused on you're just missing the mark on certain things. And I really quick, as you for those that are listening, Dodge referred to, you know, baptisms and people to church. There in Preach My Gospel, it talks about the key indicators for conversion. And these are basically, you know, metrics that they use as a mission to, record progress of people that you're teaching, people that you're meeting. And I'll list them really quick. It's and they're kind of, they're new with the updated Preach My Gospel, some of them. So it's new people being taught, lessons with a member participating, which is awesome. People being taught who attended sacrament meeting, people with a baptismal date, people who are baptized and confirmed, and then new members attending sacrament meeting. And so, like Dodge says, obviously, Preach My Gospel is a universal resource and kind of structure that is there for mission leaders to, use as a guide. But it is under the, revelation and guidance from the mission president and his wife to know what to focus on. And so oftentimes, if you're getting prepared to go on a mission, oftentimes your mission president and his wife will focus on, one or two of these key indicators that may be more prominent in your mission. And sometimes it changes throughout the mission. But I just kind of wanted to highlight that because sometimes, the previous mission president, it was like, yeah, let's just, get as many people joining the church. Whereas, new members attending sacrament meeting, that's probably a good, metric that you guys were trying to focus on more is are they, because there's so many people who, join the church or get baptized and they never go back, and I think that that's a huge problem. Not that there isn't, value. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but there's just so much they could experience. Their experience could be so much better if the focus was just a little different.
For sure. It reminds me, I was just listening to a talk earlier. It's called Proving Contraries Devotional by Bryce Dunford.
Okay.
It is so good. It is crazy.
Where was it?
It's
like
on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. Don't worry, I got you, man. But the whole talk is about how God is striking this perfect balance of love and law.
Yeah.
Just giving all these examples of how things can be contrary, but also both true. Really, it's it really changes your perspective on the gospel. But he talks about how some people have a lot of heart and they need to learn how to have a backbone, and sometimes the opposite in relationships and things. But he's talking about church teachings like this, where was that first, or how it's kind of like a pendulum that swings like a truth pendulum in how the church teaches.
Yeah.
Because okay, maybe 30 years ago, we were all law, needed a little more love towards things. And now we're really, really far on the love side and need a little more law on things.
Yeah.
We're so for example, in this instance, was the last mission president wrong for coming in and saying that he needed more baptisms? No.
Not at all.
That was right.
Right.
And so that's exactly what direction the missionaries were going.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing. But over time, it just swung a little bit further over his years in the mission.
Yeah.
Probably by the end of it. And so then that next mission president came in and said, okay, we need to actually bring in a little bit more of this contrary.
Yeah.
And started swinging it back this way. And I'm sure the next mission president will do the same thing.
Yeah.
So kind of an interesting balance, just kind of a side note that I just had.
For sure.
But yeah, it was really an interesting change that happened in our mission, because they're we need priesthood, teach fathers, teach mothers, teach whole families too, but just know statistically families stick around when they have both their parents. And so if that means you're teaching the mom and she's ready to go, obviously pray about it, figure out what's best, but it's probably worth waiting until the dad comes around too. And then the family will fall. And so anyways, it shut down baptisms for a long time in our mission.
Wow.
And then it was just unbelievable, the amount of miracles that started happening.
I'm sure.
Even the pictures of the baptisms that our mission was having was so cool. It felt so different.
Yeah.
In that switch up of just the amount of just real convert families that were coming into the church and assuming leadership positions, and now they had whole families to lean on.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, and we could talk about this too. Yeah, we can get into a few of the mission stories, but I was sent home at the end of my mission for COVID stuff.
Oh, right.
It was in my last transfer.
Forgot about that.
But before we were even sent home, Elder Bednar came to my mission, or sorry, came to the Philippines,
Cool.
gave a devotional and said that it was actually crazy. And this is what the area presidency told us, is that he like took off his glasses and he goes, "Brethren, I need you to listen to what I'm about to tell you." He says, in the coming months, the Filipino people will not be able to be reliant on the American missionaries anymore. They need to learn how to structure their church without always having missionary involvement. Because there were areas of my mission where like we're the ones serving the sacrament. Some of them we were the ones taking all the tithing, and
Yeah.
like that was our calling,
Wow.
was to be a clerk.
Yeah, be a counselor
Yeah,
in
be a
the branch
counselor.
presidency or something.
Yeah. And so missionaries get pulled out for some reason.
Right.
Then, man, that just collapses.
So this
was
happened before
yes.
COVID, really?
Yes, it was before we went home.
No way.
Yeah. And
That's
so the air
insane.
presidency, he was freaking out, or just telling us all this when it was going down. 'Cause he's
Yeah.
like, Benner literally told us this
Yeah.
months ago.
Oh my goodness.
Really a cool, revelation moment that had happened.
Yeah.
But that's what my mission president was all about, and just prepared it so much better
Yeah.
in that time. And this goes into those KIs that you were just talking about. Like
Yeah.
I actually love KIs. I still use them in my work, funny
Yeah.
enough.
Oh, for sure.
Like, hey, am I hitting this? Am I
Yeah.
doing these goals every single day for the
Yeah.
things I want to progress on?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people get a little bit too locked in on the KIs
Mm-hmm.
that like you can actually be a good missionary and waste a lot of time.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you can joke with any RM and be like, oh yeah, they were a forever investigator, or we were just teaching, just so they can send off at the end of the day.
Get another number
Got
on
another
the,
lesson. And so we really tried our best to start to break that mold
Yeah.
and be like, it is not worth our time teaching somebody, even if it is somebody who's a non-member,
Yeah.
if we know there's no like baptism in sight or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's still worth talking to them.
Yeah.
It's still worth stopping by. So we switched it up. Let's just go by. Let's just say prayers with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just say prayers, connect with them, but we're not going to waste an hour of our time in somebody's house.
Yeah. For
like
sure.
when that hour is so valuable
Yeah.
in finding people that are ready for it and just waiting out there.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the best like switch ups that I made on my mission.
Huh.
It was like, okay, no more meaningless lessons. Like let's really try to find people that are ready for it.
Yeah.
Which leads me
Wow.
to like one of my like I have a few stories and moments where I was like, this is my mission. I know that this is it.
Yeah.
Side note that I wanted to bring up that I didn't say last time, but Elder Redland, he visited my mission.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
But one of the things I'll always remember him saying was when he got there, he asked us like, hey, have you guys received the confirmation that this is the mission that you're supposed to be in yet? And we're all like, no.
Whoa.
And he's like, he said, every single one of you elders and sisters are entitled to receive a confirmation that this is where you're supposed to be right now.
No way.
He goes, so go home and pray about it. This is while we're out there.
Yeah.
And he goes, because I know it. He's like, I remember. He's like, I have seen some of your guys' faces. I remember assigning you to this mission.
Yeah.
He goes, so if you haven't done that, like you need to go home and
How
receive
far
it."
into your mission were you at this point?
I was like probably 6 to 12 months in.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that was right in the grind zone of like, man, this is rough.
Yeah, for sure.
Like-
Where you are kind of questioning, like,
Yeah.
bro, what am I doing out here?
Yeah. Where there was like, the language was kind of hard.
For sure.
You're through your training. You feel like you should be picking things up when things are feeling slow. You feel like there's still forever left.
Yeah. The time just weighs on you.
Yeah. And it was funny. I mean, my short story about that is I actually prayed about it for a little while. Asked to receive some sort of confirmation. And he gave examples of what confirmation could look like, through the Spirit, through things that happen to us in our days.
Yeah.
Things that like will trigger a memory of us being home.
Right.
Or something like that. But I remember it was funny, the next day I was in a lesson and I didn't remember, or I didn't really know what was going on with the language yet.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. There was the most random, box of Krispy Kreme donuts that there was a box, just an empty box. It like flew through our lesson. And I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, there is no Krispy Kreme with, I don't even know how close of where I am.
Yeah.
Like miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
Like I have not seen one of those in forever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, isn't it funny? Like when I got dropped off at the MTC, we brought Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm like,
No
how funny is
way.
that? And then the same thing when I opened my mission call, we had Krispy Kreme donuts.
Really?
Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. But it was a weird confirmation, which I don't even ever share that story because I'm like, people just think it's fun. It's weird that it's Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah,
but
dude.
I remember that almost being like a little silent confirmation too.
Bro, that
was
is
weird.
amazing.
I mean, I don't know. It was.
That's so fun. Hey, God has a sense of humor, man. I'm telling you.
Thing is, I don't know. Like, could have just been total coincidence, but to me, it worked. Like, it worked. I was like,
bro, absolutely. And I wanted to kind of bring up there. Sometimes it's not just one confirmation.
Yeah.
Like there's. That's what I always tell kids who are going out to serve missions. Is it's like, go find those reasons. Go have those experiences. Like why you're there, like go figure out why you're going to the Philippines or in Virginia. I think about, just one thing that just came to mind. It was, after COVID had started and I stayed in my mission, I was stateside. And so, we can't go outside, we can't talk to people. And so we're starting all sorts of new ways and initiatives to try to meet people online through Facebook, making videos, running ads. And, clearly like video is something that I've always loved to do. I wasn't good at it by any means. And I got a camera, and me and my companion and some other missionaries made I don't even want to go back and watch it, but like the funniest, but like most like just adorable little music video of my companion playing the guitar and singing this hymn in Spanish. And it's so funny. I'll have to show it to you later. But long story short, like we posted that, and I think like someone shared it, and it got to a guy in our area, and he watched the video and loved it,
No
and
way.
and requested a copy of the Book of Mormon. And we go over 15 minutes after he requested, we're on his doorstep with his Book of Mormon, and like the coolest experiences teaching. His name was Saul, just like most down to earth, genuine guy, just searching for peace, for love, for God in his life. And he had kind of a long game experience when it came to joining the church, but it was just so cool that was one of the silly little things where it's like, not saying that I did anything, but like God put me and my companion in that situation where it's like, hey, we have this kind of random out of pocket idea, but it ended up being a somewhat of a confirmation, being like, oh yeah, like, we're using our time and our talents to try to find those that are looking for God,
Sure.
And so whether it's an experience like that or a flying Krispy Kreme donut box, like, bro, those are exactly what you need to be looking for.
Yeah, no, it totally is. And it's cool. It's like, who knows with your Saul friend who like maybe it was 15 years before.
Oh, absolutely.
I just said that like, hey, missionaries it would be normal enough to talk to one of them.
Yeah.
And then same thing with using your talents when the time's right and
Yeah.
they're ready for it.
Right.
I think that this leads in well to probably one of the one of the biggest confirmations that I had on my mission. I was out there for a while at this point, starting to get the language and stuff down. I was in a really like hard area.
Cool.
We had a hard time. Just, it seems like everybody had seen missionaries a lot out there in this particular area. And this story kind of starts off with, in my patriarchal blessing, there's a small line where it says that when I go on my mission or at some point, like people will approach me, ask me what I have that they don't have, and I will see them go down into the waters of baptism.
Whoa.
And so in the back of my head, I knew this thing, and I was like, well, let's see if I'm doing my best, doing like we said earlier before we turned on the cameras, like the elder Bednar,
Yeah.
being a good missionary, being a good kid, and just trying our best to spread good.
Yeah.
If I'll run into this kind of experience
Yeah.
that's ready for me. And one day we were walking through our area, and I mean, you can't call it revelation. I think we just wanted some snacks, some Mountain Dew. um, and so we were kind of in the outskirts, and we stopped at one of these little shops that are all over,
Yeah.
that are kind of like half part of somebody's house, and got some snacks. We're just taking a break there, and this like super old guy was kind of watching us through the windows, like through like the bamboo slots thing of his house, saw that we were sitting out there, and he came up to me, and he said, he's like, "Are you?" Or he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "Oh, we're missionaries. We're just stopping and taking a break." He goes, he like looked at me and goes, "Who is Joseph Smith?" He's like, "Who?" And then he said, "What do you have that I need?" or something. It was the weirdest like confirmation, like almost word for word from
Whoa.
what it was in my patriarchal blessing. Like ask, it said in my patriarchal blessing, like unannounced, come up to us unannounced and ask that what we have.
Whoa.
And he said that to me, and I was like, "Yeah, sit down." And we just kind of broke out the pamphlet and started talking to him about Joseph Smith, which is another like note that I love is don't be afraid to teach lessons without saying prayers.
Yeah.
I mean, just go into it. Like
Yeah.
if somebody wants to talk, start going through the lessons,
Yeah.
whatever lesson it is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to hear lesson 1, principle 1. He
Yeah.
needed to hear the restoration,
Yeah.
and he was ready for it.
Yeah.
And so we opened it up, taught him the restoration right then. And he was just like, "Oh, wow." He's like, "That's amazing." He goes, "But elders, like, what evidence do you have for this?" And we were like, it's funny you say that too. And like,
Yeah. It's like, are you actually saying these questions?
No,
to
it
me
was
right
almost
now?
like, I was like, dude, am I being punked?
Yeah.
Like, this is
Where are the
hilarious.
cameras?
And so we just talked about the Book of Mormon right then too. Like,
Yeah.
which I know is probably a lot of information for him. We taught
Yeah.
it simply, testified about it, and, told him that it's true and how to receive confirmations of it. And he just kept on asking like the funniest questions. He'd be like,
Yeah.
"So if I read this and I know that it's true, can I get baptized in your church?" And we're like, "This is unreal."
You're like, no way.
Yeah, we're like, this cannot be happening to us. And so we're like, "Yeah, sure. Like we'll come back. We'll keep on teaching you about it. But yes, we'll leave this with you. You can start reading it." And kind of to make a long story short, we did end up teaching him. His wife would always like, she was kind of squirmish. She didn't really want to sit down and talk to us. So we tried to be super good friends with her. Eventually we got her sitting down in lessons. But by the time the baptism came up, she'd come to church and everything. But after a few months, she started like getting flaky about showing up for the baptism stuff. Where Tata Romolo, this guy, he was just ready to
Dialed.
go.
Yeah.
Yep. No, he's just like, he would ask us about the Book of Mormon. He'd be like, "Yeah, how was your reading of, this chapter?"
Yeah.
Like, "It was good. I'm in Alma."
Yeah.
And we'd be
Alma
like, "Oh."
51.
Yeah, one of those. One of those. We're like, "What does 'and now behold' mean?" Like asked us some deep Filipino question. But and so we did end up like having him go in and was able to watch him get baptized.
Wow.
And kind of another section of this story that I think is special is when we were doing his baptismal interview, my friend, he was the zone leader, or he was like the one giving the interviews at the time.
Yeah.
He was like asking her, like, "Why don't you just join him? Like, you don't got to get baptized, but why don't you just see if you can answer the questions too with us?" And she totally could. And then, but she stopped us mid-interview and she's like, I don't think I can do this. And she expressed that she just felt like she was unworthy. She's like, "I'm just not worthy to get baptized." And we talked to her and pretty much found out that she had some she had like a hard upbringing, and it led to her having an abortion when it was over 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
that she just had felt so much
Heavy
guilt
stuff.
for. And, um, you know, we were talking to her about it, and we knew for something like that, we were like, well, why don't we just call our mission president? Like, we'll
Yeah.
just call him and have him talk to you.
Yeah.
And she, on the phone with our mission president, told him about everything, told him that she does want
Wow.
to get baptized, but just doesn't feel worthy
That
of it.
same evening, or
Yeah,
is
same
this?
day. No, this is the
No
same interview and
way.
everything.
Oh my
And
gosh.
uh, he told her like about Jesus Christ and how he forgives sin, and that like he's like, have you repented for it? And she's like, I repent every single day. She's like,
Yeah.
I cry about it in bed. Like I just feel sick about it. And my mission president said something along the lines of like, God loves you. God knows that you're not perfect, and like God forgives sin, and like God knows that you're ready for baptism. And I think it was the first time she'd ever heard somebody else say that, like, or like she really understood that like God forgives sin.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool thing to watch,
Wow.
because we grow up always hearing that God forgives sin, and that like we always sing like, I'm a child of God, I'm a child of God. But like for somebody else that's never heard it,
Yeah.
man, it was 20 years of weight that was just like lifted off her. And then after that, she was just like, please, let's do it together. And we were able to
Wow.
baptize both of them together. Like,
So cool.
kind of that's one thing that I was like, man, I'm so glad that I'm out here and I'm in the right place.
Yeah. It's moments like that where you and I'm sure you did the same, where you question yourself, like you question like, what did I do to even be here and witness this?
Yeah.
You know, obviously like you and your companion did a great job kind of getting to know them and helping them learn who Christ is and what he can do for them. But there are times on your mission where you're just like, what in the world? Like how am I here, and why do I deserve to be a part of someone's, journey? And it's, I think that's why I've really valued having these conversations and trying to remember more of these stories, because the reason why we have them is so that we can be fortified, by other people's, witnessing someone experience the atonement of Jesus Christ for the first time in their life. Like, it's life changing. And we oftentimes forget those experiences. And it happens time and time again on your mission, sometimes in, smaller ways, and sometimes in, a kind of more impactful way of the story you just shared. But like, we have to remember these stories. We have to read in our journal. We have to look back at pictures and remember these important people, because it's what boosts us when, down the road, not if, when we run into roadblocks with our faith or with other trials that we experience in our life. It's just, I don't know. That's beautiful. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I know that's probably a sacred, experience for you. And I hope those watching can realize that those are the kinds of things waiting for them
For
out on
sure.
their mission.
For sure. I think, yeah, just to go along with what you were saying, on my mission, I kept a Book of Mormon where I had a specific highlighter for every time the word remember showed up.
Mm.
Just for fun, I like did it pink.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just want to see like how colorful the Book of Mormon gets if I just highlight the word remember.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy. Now looking back at that
Wow.
Book of Mormon, you're like, almost every single page, multiple times a page sometimes, it says the word remember.
Interesting.
It's like the most subconscious like message that I think God is trying to tell anybody who's reading it. Like,
Yeah.
remember how you're feeling right now reading it.
Yeah.
Remember those stories of your mission.
Yeah.
I can't even remember where in the scriptures it is. It was just talked about in this last general conference when he was just saying, remember the night that I like I spoke to you when you cried unto me in your room, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the scripture is that
Yeah.
one of the elders shared. And so, it's so easy to forget. Like now being
Yeah.
home 5, 6 years, like if you're not doing those things to like, if you're not setting aside time to try and remember the experiences or even try to remember your testimony, like
Yeah.
it's just like a muscle. Like you lose it if you're not working it out.
Yeah.
Um, and just to go along with that, one cool thing that I feel like we would really try to do, me and my companions or some people on my mission, is like we would. There's lots of religions in the Philippines, and there's lots of like this is what they do. Like they talk about religion a lot. I think that's
Hmm.
why it's such a great missionary country.
Yeah.
But they were like, we got to make strong converts because it was the worst. Like running into somebody who'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was baptized, but yeah, I go back to I'm Catholic, or
Yeah.
I just kind of go wherever now."
Yeah.
It's like, dang, they did all the
Kind of miss
work, but like just miss that like solidifying of it.
Yeah.
And so we'd really work in our interviews and everything with people to like show them how to defend their testimony.
Yeah.
And then now all these years later, with just how much hate we receive as being members of the church, I feel like it's helped me a ton. Because we would sit down with them, and I'd even like almost role play with these converts,
New members.
or
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
about to be baptized. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to throw some stuff at you,
Whoa.
and like you're going to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to fight for the church.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was funny. It was fun. We made it fun, but we tell them like, and this is a good segue into what we were talking about earlier, like how much we knew before our missions.
Next to nothing.
Next to nothing. Like I
Literally.
feel like we were just so unprepared, even though I went to the church, or I went to church, I went to classes, read the Book of Mormon, still feel like, okay, I knew some of the basics. I knew the fruits of it were so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And couldn't be denied. And so that's what got me out there. But it just went back to those main gospel principles.
Yeah.
And so we would teach those main gospel principles to them. We'd say,
Yeah.
okay, read the introduction to the Book of Mormon. It says, if the Book of Mormon is true, then Joseph Smith is a prophet and the church is true.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like the restoration happened. So if the Book of Mormon is true, the restoration happened. That means there's living prophets, and that means that the church is true.
Yeah.
If the Book of Mormon is not true, then you can cut it out. You can take the rest of this out of it too.
Yeah.
We're like, this is the cornerstone of the religion for a reason. And so we built it as like the cornerstone of people's testimony. If we were interviewing a 9-year-old, that's how we tell them to respond.
Yeah.
Like if anybody tries to throw shade at a secondary issue, you go, well, you know what? I have a testimony of the Book of Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
If the Book of Mormon is true, then Joseph Smith is a prophet.
Yeah.
If Joseph Smith is a prophet, then this is the true church that I'm following.
I'm glad that you bring that up because, like I was telling you before, something that I think a lot of kids who are preparing to go on mission struggle with is their lack of knowledge, or what they think is lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Just about the gospel and whatnot. But I want to highlight, and maybe we can kind of end with this. I want to highlight what you and your companion did with this friend. You talked about how you just kind of jumped right into it. Like you weren't afraid to just dive into the lesson. And that's actually one of the coolest updates about the new Preach My Gospel. I'm pretty sure it was at the end of the first edition of Preach My Gospel, but at the beginning of each lesson, this is the gospel of Jesus Christ. It breaks down what you might teach people in 15 to 25 minutes. And then it goes through the principles and things that you might focus on. And then it dives into more of the doctrine and like the what those principles actually mean. But you can see how, the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12, their focus on teaching simply and powerfully and in a concise way. Sometimes like you have 5 minutes to talk to someone, like teach them a restored truth, prepare those few, try to study these sections and Preach My Gospel and kind of simplify it. Not that you won't have in-depth conversations and things that you need to learn. But for those that are watching that are feeling a lack of confidence when it comes to gospel knowledge, read through Preach My Gospel and just read through those principles, gain a testimony, and try to study it in a more simple way. And I promise that you can do what you did, Dodge, and your companion, be teach in a powerful way that is helpful to those people.
Yeah. No, that nails it right on the head. I think that's so big. And I think it goes back to like your core values. Like if you actually live the gospel, then you're not going to have any problem
Yeah.
trying to teach it like
Yeah.
while you're out there. It's like Noah loves hockey, and it's
Yes,
like if
sir.
I had to if I had to have him talk about hockey, it wouldn't be any problem for him.
Yeah.
But trying to force it out of somebody like me who like, okay, I learn about it, but I'm not like passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't come across as genuine.
Right.
And so it's the same thing in the business world or whatever. Like people have to learn how to give an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how can I take a 20-minute lesson and narrow it down to 30 seconds that I have with somebody?
Yeah.
And how can I throw some hooks to see where people need us?
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing is the spirit. Like that's the only way that you're going to be able to really know
Yeah.
what to teach, when to teach it,
Yeah.
who to teach it to. And that I feel like my whole mission kind of prepared me just for the end of my mission. Like we were able to, using all these tools, talking to everyone, we were able to teach a family that the lesson went well. But nothing really came of it,
Yeah.
except for one of the people said, hey, like after the lesson, like, hey, my family lives down the road. If you guys ever want to come down here and talk to us.
Yeah.
And we ended up going down there, talking to them and just meeting like the most amazing people ever.
Wow.
And I think it's just because we were trying our best to do the right things and God put us in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
For that visitor to be at a house where like the lesson didn't amount to anything, but like the connection did.
Yeah.
And we ended up meeting like seriously one of the coolest converts ever.
Wow.
Her name was Jonah.
Hey.
And we'd teach her and she'd just be like she'd just say, Astig, like, which just means cool. She'd be like, oh, like the gospel? Cool.
Yeah.
And it was like seriously like the most perfect, like behind my companion's personalities. Like
Yeah.
I never meshed with somebody that well.
Yeah.
And I think it just took like a whole mission of preparing
Yeah.
to lead us to that last convert that we had. And we ended up in the same thing, seeing her get ready for baptism.
Yeah.
Just stunning. Like seriously, the most strong spirit I'd felt.
Yeah.
The whole mission was in her baptism.
Wow.
And like, I still think about how awesome that day was.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, like after the baptism, she was just so happy. She's just like, well, like I'm ready to go. Elders,
Yeah.
like you could tell she just wanted to sit in like the spirit and like kind of everybody, it was a small meeting, like not that many people were there,
Yeah.
but everything just went so smoothly, which like rarely ever happens on missions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true.
But it's funny because we went back to our house to like dry off, to like hang up our baptismal clothing. And random one of the senior couples happened to roll up, show up to the baptism and come by our house after. And I was talking to them and I was like, they were just saying how great of a baptism was. I'm like, that was so strange. Like that was seriously the greatest experience I've had my whole mission.
Yeah.
Like just this simple baptism. I don't know why, like it impacted me so much, how like strong the spirit was,
Yeah.
how strong it felt for me to being in that place, that building, in that area. And I told him, I'm like, all right, guys, like, I think I'm ready to go home after that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can call my mission quits now.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was it. That did it for me. And I remember he was like crying, talking to me, the guy in the senior couple, and he took a picture of me, just holding up all the baptismal clothing hanging in our front yard.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I just love to see it. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he left, and the next morning at like 8 a.m., we got a text message that said, all foreign missionaries, you have 30 minutes to get to the mission home. Everybody's going home. And we had no idea what COVID was. Like, no idea that anything was happening. Like, any pandemic was about to hit. We had no idea. They're like, yeah, you like pack up your things in a bag, like leave immediately to the mission office. And so we did. Like, we just got all our stuff off our desks, zipped it up, said goodbye to our Filipino friends there that
As
were living
many of
with
them
us.
that you could.
Yeah, we didn't get to see any more. Didn't get to see the members ever again. Never got to see a convert ever again out there. And there's cool stories that go along with it. Like, we were letting a convert wash all my clothes that day, and so left all my clothes. And she has a ton of boys that are in her family
Oh, no
that are
way.
like my same size, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
perfect.
There you
Like,
go.
God knew.
Yeah.
And it was, and then the whole thing happened where we got sent home, and it was just a huge process. We had to sleep in buses and
Yeah.
sleep on the floor of church buildings
Yeah.
and get out of there. But I just will always remember, like, that was my very last journal entry before I knew I was going home. Literally says, like, I could go home today and be totally happy with how my mission was.
No way.
Yeah,
Bro.
it was wild.
That is insane. The combination of that story and then the whole Elder Bednar,
Yeah.
prophecy before the COVID happened. That's just, oh, dude, what a crazy time that was. And
I know.
obviously, you didn't even like have the time to like process what was happening. It just happened so quick, but like so funny to look back on those times. And I honestly feel like they were important times too. Like, that was a gnarly time for a lot of people, and I'm sensitive towards that and those that went through hard things because of it. But in a lot of ways, like, I saw in my mission too, like, that prepared a lot of people too. People were turning to God and prioritizing him in a way like they haven't done before. And dang, that's crazy though. I can't even imagine that. You'll have to share that journal entry with me one time. I want to see, or that picture or something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But dang, dude, well, that's probably a good story to end on. Is there any kind of last remarks or pieces of advice if you got an elder or sister missionary preparing to go to the Philippines?
Yeah, I think sure, as a parting message, like, dude, if I can do it, then I seriously think anybody can. Like, all the missionaries you see are just as human as you are. They don't know everything about the gospel. Like, they know a few key things. They felt the Spirit before, and they made like wonderful missions out of it.
Yeah.
And like, with these stories, I don't think I was like any special of a missionary. I think every missionary has experiences just being around the Spirit that much.
Right.
But going back to the Bednar talk on receiving revelation, like, if you're being a good missionary, you're trying your best to be strict to all the mission rules and being obedient, and like, you're genuinely trying to spread the good news of the gospel. Like, Brother Egg, he was one of my last teachers in the MTC. He said, like, we have the gold. Like, the gospel is gold. Imagine if you were on a corner trying to hand out gold, how antsy you'd be and how excited you'd be to give out that gold.
Yeah.
Or like, if you were just giving out $100 bills, like, you would not be shy if you knew you were just handing them out for free, and you'd be so excited to tell people about it. And he's like, the gospel and the message of the restoration is so much more valuable to people's lives than any chunk of gold that you could give them. And we got to act like it.
We do.
And like, we got to give it out with that kind of energy. Like, it's like it's the most valuable substance on earth.
Yeah.
And so that would be my kind of final part. My final message is, like, he'll put you in the right place at the right time. If you're trying your best to do the right thing, like, you will see miracles in your mission.
It's true. And yeah, the stories you shared and the lessons you learned is evidence of that. You saw miracles, and They're out there. So go and find them. Like Dodge said.
Forget yourself.
Yes, go to work. But bro, thank you so much.
Dude, happy to be here.
This has been awesome. We'll run this back.
Yeah. Time number 3.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that has been Dodge serving in the
Bacolod, Philippines
mission. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode.